Good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to do a February garden walkabout and show you our hit misses out here for sure, and just what's going on in the garden. We haven't done, I haven't done any very much pruning or cut back. I'm probably going to wait another couple weeks, but I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on what's going on. I wanted to share with you guys in this bed. I shared in a prior video, but these are little arborvitaes that we bought last year that my male dogs have destroyed by urinating on them. So I'll probably leave them for a while just because it's a good distraction. They seem to like those spots, but I am going to be removing my boxwoods in here because I don't want them destroying those as well. Here's our weeping pussy willow. I've talked about this in prior videos, but I think I'm going to be trimming this down a little bit to get some of the branches out so you can see more of the structure. And then one thing we also plan on doing is putting a post over here to tie it back. As you can see, there's a little bit of a lean going that way, and that usually works pretty well. So again, garden's messy. This is our front flower bed. Here's our deck. It is also messy, but again, it's February. So as I've mentioned in my prior videos, at least for January, this is just the time of year where we get excited about gardening. This morning here on the Oregon coast, I'm in zone 9A, and live about 20 minutes inland from the beach. And our zone A, as I mentioned in prior videos, is not anything like other people's zone A's. It's actually fairly cool and damp. Look at that sun. So this morning though was a cold one. We actually had, I think it was 27 degrees when I came out here this morning. So that is obviously pretty cold. I wanted to share as we walk around together today, just the things that I plan on doing or editing and or adding to the garden, which I'm very excited about. As you guys know, I said that I am going to be starting seeds, but I have to wait. I have another trip on Monday to North Carolina for work, so I'll wait until I'm done with that trip and then I will start my seedlings, so stay tuned for that. Also yesterday I was piddling in my greenhouse that my husband built for me last year, so stay tuned for that. I'm so excited to use that greenhouse this year. Anyways, in this bed right here, you'll see, again, it's not very cleaned out, but I plan on taking, let me come over here actually. I'm actually going to remove the globe thistle that's still going strong, even though we had a couple freezes now. Here, there's actually 5 of them. I'm going to be removing those and basically just transplanting them here because I want some height. There's not a lot of height over here. Eventually I'd like to get some more of our emerald green arborvitaes and just plant them down the center. But I also didn't want to I'm sorry if you hear my dog. I also didn't want to have to dig everything up in this bed this year because I have plenty of other projects that I'm going to be sharing with you right now. The other thing I'm going to be doing is taking out these grasses, moving some of the lamb's ear and putting them other places because I did order some North Star boxwoods from Proven Winners. I think I ordered 5 of them that I plan on placing in here. For whatever reason, these more raised beds, my little Chiweenies don't tend to go in there and potty as much. So hopefully that'll protect the boxwoods. So anyways, I wanted to give you a full view so you guys can see everything right now, and then we'll kind of walk by and I'll let you guys know the changes that we have planned. So it's still really pretty. I just love it out here so much because of the rocks and just the nice structure that we have in place. Even in the fall and winter months, we've made it really pretty. We have evergreens that eventually the boxwoods and the emerald greens, arborvitaes back there along the fence line that we planted a couple weeks ago are doing phenomenal. And so as we continue to go, you'll see more greenery all throughout the year, which will be nice. Over here on this bed, I'm going to have to do a little bit of editing. Primarily, I'm just going to be transplanting some stuff over here. And again, I plan on growing a ton of perennials this year. So in that process, a lot of them are going to come out here. And so there's some things I'll be removing, but generally speaking, this won't be too dramatic of changes. Whereas some other beds I'll talk to you about in a minute will be a little bit more dramatic as far as what I'm taking out. You can see this bed has not been cleaned out, and that's okay. And my last video in January, I don't know if you remember, but this rose was fallen over. I tipped it back up and kind of stepped on the base to make sure it stays put. Also, that little cypress was tipped over as well, and it's doing better now that we got it back in the ground. But we had a ton of rain this last fall and winter, a ton of it, and we also had a lot of high winds, so we've lost probably about 15 trees in our field that I'm not going to take you down to show today, but lots of trees came down because we had some really good storms. Anyways, I couldn't remember what this was called in my last video. I was trying to, I don't know about most gardening people, if you remember all the names. I tend to say things backwards, or I forget the name, or just sometimes we'll even make things up on accident. But this is a weeping spruce, and it did so well this last year. We've just planted it last spring, so you can see it's doing really well. I have a question for you guys. This looks like a spider plant, like an indoor spider plant, and it actually has babies. In fact, I took some off and put them in water, but that I can plant up. They didn't have this last year. So can you guys tell me, came in a succulent kit from Marketplace, but it looks to me just like an indoor spider plant, but I planted it outside and it's been doing great. So I'm not sure what that is. If you guys know, let me know. But I do have some babies that I'm going to try to propagate because they do look pretty in the spring and summer. And again, the nice thing is a lot of things are still looking pretty good as far as not completely dead, because again, we don't typically have those harsh winters that everyone else does. In fact, if I take you guys over here, this is absolutely insane. I will be pruning my roses at the end of this month when I get back from my next trip. But look at this. Who would have thought you'd see beautiful roses blooming in February? Some of them are about ready to expire, but at least gives you an idea how I guess it's pretty mild temperatures here on the coast. So next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is this circle. I keep debating whether or not I'm going to do this next process or not, but I'm kind of thinking about, there's 8 of these 4 feet long beds, about, yeah, I guess they're about 4 by 4, and I'd like to just extend it on all the sections that I'm able to. So that would give me this much space over there. Same thing, there's another area that I can extend. And again, straight across, if you can see, I can extend it right there as well. I really just want more planting space. Now I can't do anything on this side because that's tied to a walkway, but I can right here. So stay tuned. That'll be a fun project, or maybe you guys have thoughts on that. What do you think? Should I extend it or leave it? The other thing is this is a Sprinter boxwood. I couldn't remember the name of this. You see how more it's compact? Well, I do have the Winter Gem boxwoods as well, and I didn't realize there were so many different varieties. So I think what happened is I purchased different varieties as we were doing our bed, not paying attention. So I plan on taking the boxwoods that we just saw in the front bed. Those are also what did I say, Winter Gem? I just forgot the name. Anyways, I plan on taking these out and popping those in because they match, and they will be a little bit smaller than these bigger ones that I have in around the circle, but they will catch up. I'm not too worried about that. So again, planning on or thinking about extending these to make this more of a, half circle right here, half circle right there, half circle right there, and then straight across right over there, another half circle, just to give myself some more planting space. The downside is oftentimes I walk through here, and they often say you shouldn't, you should intend on making walkways wherever your natural path is. And I do, I go these ways a lot. That being said, I want more gardening space. So anyways, I have so many fun projects that I'm going to be doing and so excited about that. I hope you guys will join my other videos. But this is a metal tin that has succulents. I'm going to refresh that this springtime, and I'm going to be placing it over here. This big rock right here, it kind of looks, someone can actually sit on this. It's so long and fairly flat. So I think I'm going to put it there again, because I need more garden space. So if I remove that, then I have more space out in that long bed. I'm going to take you by to show you the arborvitaes, the green emerald arborvitaes that we purchased. They are actually doing very well. So that's very exciting to me. And I think I've shared a million times, but I will share it again. This is a Leyland cypress that we planted 2 of them. They were clearanced. They have such beautiful green architecture and the texture, all the things, but it's going to get so tall and wide that this is not the appropriate space. So sometimes I purchase things and don't read size dimensions. That's standard across the board for everything I purchase a lot of times. That's just me. Anyways, here's the start of some of the arborvitaes back here, the emerald green. You'll see some smaller ones. That's primarily because I purchased some online on Amazon for almost $20, which I'm kind of embarrassed to admit, but that's okay. That's how we learn our lessons. But that's these smaller ones down here. And then going this way guess how much these were? These were only $3. So we ended up purchasing 20, and they were able to finish this long bed down here. And I'll try to do this without making you guys sick. And anyways, over here we have, there's one back there behind that Japanese maple, and then we were able to add 3 right here. So very, very excited about that. I also bought 2 lemon cypresses last year and put them in my window box by the porch that I plan on taking out and planting in one of these longer beds as well. So again, bad decision on my part. Another leyland cypress, and you can see how close it is to the walkway. Not the best of ideas, but again, I am hoping we can remove that. And this is our field out here where we used to raise cattle. I'm not sure if we're going to get cattle this year or not. I'm trying to talk my husband into let me have that space, but it does have a decline, but so does our whole yard. We live on a mountain. So even when we placed all of our rocks here, I ended up putting a lot more, this is round rock. I keep calling it pea gravel. It's actually round rock, standard gravel, but we put so much on the property to kind of level it out. But, and if you haven't watched my prior videos, go take a peek. We have over probably, I'm going to say probably 110,000 rocks in here now because we've added more last year. That's a lot of rocks. And my husband and I changed this. If you haven't watched any of my videos, I'll say this really quickly for those who have. This used to be dead grass, and we didn't have any of these beds in here. We had the long one that, right by the truck, this long one over here, and the one behind me that I just showed you. But all of this was just dead grass. And it turns out my husband and I are not very good at growing grass, but we also have a big flowering cherry tree right there. And then behind me, we have a bunch of big trees like that directly behind me that makes it difficult to have full sun to get beautiful grass. So also we have water issues at our house. Typically by the end of summer, it's not uncommon for us to get low on our water. So it's spring fed, and you know, as the season progresses during summer, we need to make sure we save water for our house. Also, so you can see we have, again, the round rock. We put that in the walkways and the circle around the fire pit. I still am trying to talk my husband either doing a pond right there, which I think would be so cute. I wouldn't even mind if it was the same size, just centering it more with the walkways, or putting a fountain there. But the fountain I want is not exactly in my budget. So a pond would be a little bit more affordable and a beautiful interest. Again, this cherry tree, I've mentioned too in my prior videos that it needs to be taken out. And I don't know if we're going to tackle that this summer, primarily because last year the blossoms were just so pretty. And I hate cutting trees, cutting them down. So, but it does need to go. It has, I'll bring you up closer in a second, but it's got wood borers. And I don't know if we still have them, but we did at one point that really destroyed the tree, which weakens its, you know, kind of its infrastructure and so forth. So I'm also thinking about when I make my changes this year, and I keep going back and forth if I want to take these Japanese maples out and really just pop them in the ground right where they're at, because they did so well. I was trying to see first if they got too much sun, and they didn't seem to. So I think it would be safe to do that. And then I can use those pots again for more more real estate of some sort to plant more perennials and shrubs and so forth. Those big kind of rust, or I don't know what color you'd call that, burgundy brown. It's not totally burgundy, but I'm going to be planting in some brand new hydrangeas to Proven Winners this year. It's a cascading, it's like a purple one, and I just forgot the name, but anyways, I'm super excited about that. I also bought a brand new clematis or clematis. I'm super excited about. It's also brand new this year to Proven Winners, and I was able to get my hands on it, but it has dark leaves, and I of course just forgot the name too. So anyway, stay tuned for that. If you watch my prior videos, you remember this lemon cypress right here. We had 2, and we have either we put a bench or chairs right between here, but the one that we planted last year there actually died, and so we did cut that one down. And it was easy to cut down when you can see it's completely dead and it's not doing anything. Although my husband and I talked about spraying it that bright green and then see if anybody noticed, but we decided to take that out. So again, you can see this bed right here in particular. All of the emerald arborvitaes are doing really well. I used AI to see how big, well, what it's going to look like as they're full grown. So that's very exciting. Also, in one of my prior videos, I mentioned that I dug up probably about 500 Crocosmias because I love them for the hummingbirds, but they were taking up they were coming out about 3 feet, 2 feet outside of this bed. And again, I need the space for to plant other things. But the good news is I'm planting other things that the hummingbirds will love. So sad to see those go, but also they're invasive and taking over our garden. This bed in particular, I'm thinking about either putting those North Star arborvitaes over there in that other bed that I showed you where I'm at, right over there, or this bed. They're brand new, or not brand new, they're from Proven Winners. I think they were new last year, North Star. Anyways, I'm kind of excited about that. So this might get a makeover, we'll see, or I might just buy other boxwoods next spring to go there. I love this bed. Boxwoods have such a beautiful way of just kind of making a cottage garden more formal, or any garden in that manner more formal. And you can see also visual interest clear in February, which is absolutely amazing. So again, this is the flowering cherry tree, but I just want to come up close so you can see the damage the wood borers did. I mean, it's pretty significant. And so my fear is if the longer we leave it, there's a big crack as well. The longer we leave it, the more apt it is to fall and hurt someone. That someone will probably be me. But again, I might just leave it one more year and see if we get some beautiful flowers. I don't know if you guys remember this Japanese maple. It's pretty thin, but this is a Twombly's, and it just grows very columnar. It doesn't grow out, and it grows down from the base up. Twombly's Centennial. If I said that wrong, that's okay. You guys can laugh with me. But anyways, it is beautiful. It was in the pot right behind, right there, and I took that out and finally planted that in the ground because we had that pot there for a full year, and it did well. So that was a good indicator that it was okay to leave. So again, over here, this is again what I was thinking about doing, is just bridging the gap, making it still kind of round. And I'll take out the gravel and the other rocks and build it back up with more rocks, good soil, compost. And I also use worm castings. It works really good for topsoil. I usually put a bag or two of good soil on the top, or half a bag. And then the rest is topsoil, but worm castings really helps put nutrients in your soil. I also have a soil amender. It's actually like liquid that I use as well that really does a great job of making crappy soil, excuse my mouth, nice and usable. So I don't know if you guys remember too, this from that post right behind, right over here, this post going down was the 24 feet that we added this last 2 years. And so this had a lot of wildflowers, and I've got such sad news. Let me see if I can see it. We had a death in the family, and it was pretty sad to me because I loved it. Last year I planted a Mugo pine, and you can see it did not survive. I don't know, we get so much rain, if that was the culprit, or if it was just smothered out by all of the other wildflowers that we had. You can still see my hollyhocks are still have greenery on them. I've got a nasty weed in here that's very obnoxious that I need to get out because I can see it's already taking over. Again, you can see the arborvitaes. There is a little bit of browning on them, but I think that's to be expected for this time of year. If that's not true, let me know, because I'm just curious, because I'm still learning about arborvitae and trees in general. This bed down here, I had planted a bunch of zinnias. If you haven't seen my photos, you can go take a peek on YouTube. It was just the prettiest view. I actually went out in the field and captured photos, and looked so pretty with the old fencing and those zinnias. So that was a fun thing to see, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do perennials and or zinnias in here. I've got a ton of zinnia seeds that I plan on planting either in one of these beds. I'm not quite sure yet. This is the brand new circular bed that my husband designed last year using the same arbors that we use, and just tilted it on its side. He still had to do quite a bit of work to make it, but and then there's some, I can't think of the name of that type of metal right there. I keep saying the wrong one. I said coagulated, and I think that's blood. So hopefully there's some humor when you guys listen to me, because I notice all the time when I rewatch my videos, I say funny things on accident. It's never intentional. So, well, sometimes it's intentional. Also, you can see my Verbena bonacina. Can't say that right either. I can't remember it. Anyways, it's still growing. It's still looking great. So obviously it's a perennial in my area. This bed is another option to put boxwoods around the center. But so stay tuned. I'm not sure exactly what I'll be doing here, but I love boxwoods. I think that's my new addiction besides the emerald green arborvitaes for structure in your garden. Also provides a nice fencing. This is a hot mess back here, so we're not judging any of my beds. Remember, it's February. But I shared in my last, I think it was my last video, that we're going to be making a bed over here. And I keep trying to decide if I want to do another moon bed. That's what I call my other one. I'll show you in a second. Just because I like different structures. I don't like them to all be square. When I first designed this garden, slow down, you'll see that like most of my beds are just square, just really long rectangular beds. So I really love circles or half circles. If I had my druthers, that's probably my choice. So this bed right here, also about 2 years old. This has some really, really beautiful roses. Again, boxwoods, and all of the boxwoods in here are the Sprinter boxwoods. They're all the smaller form. But I'm thinking about popping in a rose, and I also said a rose incorrectly on my last video. I said I bought, well, I don't want to repeat what I said wrong because I don't remember that. I bought a reminiscent coral, and I bought from Proven Winners. I also bought a reminiscent coral rose and a paired rose. It's a flavorette that you can actually eat. So I think I'm going to pop one here, one over there, but I also bought 3 reminiscent pink that I need to decide where to put those. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. So besides the moon bed over here, I know you guys probably can't tell, but I'm addicted to our moon gates that my husband designs, moon gate arbors. And so we will be cleaning this area up. I'll probably either toss that or find another area, but we are putting another big arbor right here. And I bought a, oh my gosh, David Austin rose, the something gardener. I just forgot. Something gardener. Anyways, it's a really beautiful rose that it's a good climber, and it should be beautiful out here. So we'll see. And then I may plant some of those reminiscent pink back here as well, because this gets pretty much full sun as soon as the sun comes out until the evening. So I'm just kind of excited to have some areas where I can plant more sun-loving things, because our yard does have quite a bit of shade throughout the day. I think I've shared my dream before and mentioned this was our cattle. This is where we used to have our cows. We just usually have 1 or 2 for consumption. Please don't judge us. It's better than store-bought. But we had lost a ton of trees over here in the last couple of years, and we lost several this last fall and winter. Not, in fact, just like 8 weeks ago. So if he fixes the fence, that's going to cost a lot of money. So I keep trying to encourage him. We don't need to eat beef. Why don't you just let me have that gardening space? Because look at all that. That'll be a lot of fun space for me to play and grow my garden. But we shall see. Again, that bench I'm probably going to be donating. I don't remember where I purchased it, but I don't know if you can tell. Let me try to zoom in. But it flips, like you could make it a picnic table or a bench. It's not very sturdy. And it's just not very ideal. It blows over anytime there's a little minor windstorm. So again, not my absolute favorite. In our barn right there, I'm thinking about, we have a little entry right there. We still need to clean out the barn from our prior cows, but there's a little entry right there where there's a little room. And if I grow my plants, I might just do like one Saturday where we sell some. But I know me too, I'll probably plant them or give them away as gifts. But that is my goal eventually, is to use our greenhouse to sell some of our, you notice how I said some, of our flowers that I grow from seed, because I still feel like there's a lot that I can plant out in my own garden. I wanted to share, that is a dog toy. Don't mind that yuck right there. And let's keep going this way. I think I also purchased, I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm very ready for spring. I also purchased, I said I purchased a clematis, but I'm pretty sure I also purchased another honeysuckle to go out here as well. It has to be something that can take part shade. There gets sun on this side, but towards the end of the day in the summertime, this side is pretty much shaded by the afternoon. So I am still trying to figure out the best option for that. And I love our chickens, but I do not enjoy the smell. We need to get their little coop cleaned out, but they are such sweet girls. We have 8 females, and they're eating some veggies that they got today. Anyways, that's that. I mentioned in my last video, but my husband built me another obelisk. These are very heavy duty. It did fall over with one of our storms, which, if that gives you an idea, that's very heavy, just how high our winds get here. In this bed in particular, so I'm not sure I'm moving that. It's just there for temporary. This long bed right here, I'm just going to be adding more stuff to it. It does have hostas because about this half over is mostly shade, except for about an hour or two in the morning. The rest is sun until afternoon, and that side, I don't really know why well, I'll tell you why. You see all those big trees? Those big trees stop the sunshine from reaching our property. And those big trees that have ivy on them also, I'm always scared during winter months that they're going to fall on our house or our property. They need to be cut down, but that's not my worry for today. But my husband is aware of that, so we'll figure that out. This out here is our flower garden that we did last year, and I loved it so much. John made me 3 of these raised beds, and they're on, big posts you can see. And I'm asking him to make me 2 of the exact same size, and I'm going to stain them the exact same color to put in my greenhouse, so I can have some plants that are pretty in there. That is another one of our half moon gate arbors that we put out there, which is beautiful, and it has a something Druin, and she's a little bit prone to powdery mildew, so that wasn't ideal. But it's supposed to be crazy. It grows like 25 feet. This last year it only grew like a foot. So hopefully this year it'll take off, and we'll see. And then out here there's going to be quite a bit of editing that I hope to do. I'm hoping to. This is not my favorite bed. I've mentioned it in quite a few videos. Don't mind that towel. I'm just trying to clean things up a little bit. This bed it's a hot mess. And it doesn't have plants that I really love. Like this right here, this is just this straight ahead. All that dead stuff, that is a dahlia that I never loved. And I kept it here for years. And I think this is going to be the year that I actually take it out because I don't love it. I need to prop those back up. But I think what I'm going to do is just plant some of my perennials that I just purchased out here, or purchased my seeds that once they get going, I'll plant some of those out here. A lot of things are still live out here, which I'm kind of surprised about because, again, we did have a really good freeze this morning at 27 degrees. But in fact, you can see my salvia is not dead. So I'm going to I think it is a perennial in my area, not normally in most people's, but I'm going to cut them down. I'm going to wait a little bit longer. I don't know, just to make sure they're safe. But you can see I have a lot of cleanup out here as well. The bed straight ahead of me with that half moon gate arbor, besides why can't I think of the name? The rose right there. I called my Cosmos bed, and it was really pretty. I think I might just do zinnias out there this year to mix it up. I do love the Cosmos. They're gorgeous, and it actually provides like a nice, almost like a screen from the chicken coop out here. But I actually like to see the chickens too, so I don't mind leaving it. In each of those beds, these raised beds that I did off the ground, they have a winter gem boxwood. They're doing great, and lots of perennials, including some trailing succulents, and lots of, oh my goodness, today is not a good day with my brain. Lots of sedum in different varieties. And then I have my hardy geraniums that are absolutely beautiful. I have I would probably say 15 different varieties of hardy geraniums in my garden. If you're not familiar with hardy geraniums, go Google them. They're absolutely amazing. I grew 3 new varieties last year that I love. I have one that you can't purchase anywhere. So I take cuttings from the roots every year, and then I plant them out in new areas just to keep it going because it's such a beautiful one. This is one of the newer geraniums I purchased, and none of my geraniums except for one, and it's not as bad. I had one years ago that was actually invasive, like you plant it and you're not going to get it out. I don't have any of those types of geraniums anymore, but I do have one. She can get a little beastie, a little bit bossy and out of her bounds, but otherwise for the most part, not too bad. So I will come over here now. I'm about ready to end this, but if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I am trying to build up my channel so I can share all things gardening. And one of the reasons why I wanted to share my channel is because I'm addicted to YouTube gardening channels. And there's not very many gardens like mine. Now I know Robbie and his husband, they have their own gardening channel. They are amazing as well. But I did this first and this is amazing, but there's not a lot of us that just have primary rock gardens. So I just thought it would be fun to share and share ideas that we're doing here in our own garden, but also projects that we're working on that I think you guys would also enjoy. But I have, my last video was talking about my starting, where I was going to grow my seedlings. And I shared that we only had 151 subscribers. We are now at officially 161. I don't know how these channels get built up, but again, if you haven't liked, please do so. If you haven't subscribed, please do so you don't miss out on fun things. But also I want your feedback. And I do love gardening friends. I love to share gardening tips, but if you live in Oregon, I'd love to meet you in person and we can share starts. Like, who doesn't love that? So anyways, you guys, thank you so very much. If you've watched this till the end, you're amazing and I appreciate it. And again, I hope if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I know it's kind of a pain in the booty because you can subscribe, I think right from, well, I think you have to do it from your phone, don't you? And that can be a little bit of a pain, but please do so. Subscribe, like, and also comment. What are you guys doing big in your yard? As I mentioned, we've got lots of big projects going on here for spring and summer. One last reminder, we still have the big art gallery project that we're doing the landscaping for them. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss any of those videos. And I promise I'm trying to get better with just walking around and not making you dizzy or throw up. So that's just a skill set. I did buy one of those camera holders, and it's a fancy one. However, it was it was flipping all over. So I need to watch a YouTube video on that to better learn how to hold it, and I couldn't find a lock button on it. So anyways, I hope you guys laughed a little bit today too. I feel like the world is very heavy right now. Remember, as I say goodbye, the world's crazy, but we do not have to be. Be kind, be loving to one another, and support one another. That's the only way our world changes. So thanks you guys for spending some time with me today. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and I will talk to all of you guys when I get back from my trip to North Carolina. Take care. Bye.